His Excellence Mr. Al Sayed, His Excellence Mr. Ambassador of Qatar, His Excellence Mr. Ambassador of Palestine, ladies and gentlemen, it's quite a great honor for us to welcome our friends, let me say so, of Qatar and great personalities of this country. As you may know, the issue about investment, finance, insurance is a main issue in this institution. We have a very dynamic house of finance. Many of our programs, of our degrees are focused on finance and investment, so that the issue which are at the core of the activity of the Qatar Fund of Investment interests greatly our students and researchers. That's a good reason to listen to your presentation, Mr. Al Sayed, with a very great interest. I would like really thank you warmly for coming at Paris-Dauphine University. Let me just give you the floor for your presentation, if you like. Thank you once more.
I think I will stand and do there. Maybe it's. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, thank you, Mr. President, for inviting me. It's an honor to be today with you in this leading school. Although I am HSA alumni, but I start giving the first, speech like this at your university. I hope they will be happy. They will not be upset on me. But it's an honor today. And first of all, I would like to start to give you a background of what is Qatar Investment Authority and why Qatar Investment Authority has been created. And then we can have different questions from any of you, so we can have a free talk, and you have the freedom to talk to the person who's in charge of running the day-to-day activities of the Investment Authority. A lot of different messages we get from the French market, many of them welcoming our investment, many of them questioning our investment, many of them, or some of them, I don't want to say many, doesn't like our investment, sometimes with a reason or without a reason. So, today we will explain the background of a QIA. The concept of Qatar Investment Authority came very simple by His Highness the Father Emir in 2005. And the idea is as simple. As a current generation in Qatar, we are enjoying the wealth. This wealth coming from selling commodity, oil and gas, the return of selling the commodities being used to build the country, to run the country, to invest in infrastructure, healthcare, education, and the story of Qatar is well known. You can go to Qatar and you are welcome to visit to Qatar, and you will see the story and how this small country being built in very advanced way, and still we are to go toward 2030 vision, which His Highness the Emir also sponsored a few years ago. So if we assume the income of the government by selling this commodity is 10 euros, let's just have this simple calculation. 7 will go to the budget. It will be used to run the country. 3, it will be surplus, and this surplus is supposed to go to Qatar Investment Authority as a part of the future generation rights in this wealth, in this commodity. So this commodity under the ground, one day it will disappear, or the value of this commodity will be less. If we remember the coal at one day, it was the first commodity. This commodity today, oil and gas, tomorrow shale oil or shale gas or whatsoever it could come. So the future generation 100 or 200 years, and 100 or 200 years, very short period in the life of the nations, the life of the people, and the history, could say that generation enjoyed the wealth and they left nothing for us. So to take part of the wealth today, the value of that wealth today, and put it in diversified financial portfolio and invest it and keep it in the future. So in the future, this portfolio will start sending income back to the government to run the country. That's the whole story. So the money that we are running today, it's not belong 100% to the current generation, it belongs to the future generation. And that's why we are all trustee on this fund. And we run it in a pure financial manner to make sure this money or this wealth protected, invested in the right way. So that's the story in a nutshell. So then you will understand when we invest where we are coming from. We are trying to create a long-term value on our portfolio, and that's why we said we are a long-term investor. And long-term investor doesn't mean that I should lose money, because sometimes, you know, people think if we are a long-term that we should not be really care about what's going on in the market. No, we invest like any financial institution. We care about valuation, we care about return. We are currently 70% international from the human capital in Qatar Investment Authority. It's top international expert, you know, working with us, and 30% Qatari talent, which we are investing a lot, you know, of our time and effort. And you can see some of the example sitting with us here. I didn't bring all of them, you know, so bring, you know, just one or two. You know, I've been traveling a lot. So that's, you know, where we stand as Qatar Investment Authority. So when we invest, we have a professional team, we have sectoral team. We build it in a sectoral way. So we have group of investment and financial service institution, retails and consumer, commodities, infrastructure, and healthcare and hospitality and real estate. So different team working in a different sector, focusing on a different sector, and also we have the execution part, which is M&A, capital market, and finance and legal and others. We have, of course, risk management group to calculate the risk of the group. So this fund being created by law in 2005. We started the operation 2006. 2006 and 7, that was a foundation period for a QI. You need to create the management, you need to hire the team, you need to put the system together, you need to, you know, have the appropriate headquarter or place. And then 2008, as all of you know, it was the beginning of the financial crisis. And at that stage, our portfolio was simply local portfolio inherited from the government, local companies, listed companies, and regional portfolio, which is also inherited by the government, from the government, and international portfolios which been run and managed by a third party. So we give our money to our managers and they run it for us, but that was a small part. The real international activities of QIA started in 2008, end of 2008, by investing in Credit Suisse banks and Barclays banks. So at the beginning of the financial crisis, and at that time we decide to create a real organization. We decide to run our money by ourselves. So we become active in running our wealth by ourselves. We created a team gradually over time. And we said, we are not less than the other. We can run it by ourselves and create, professional global organization. And we said we will build it, piece by piece. We'll start gradually. And we work with partners, international institutions, and we've been so active on looking for the right opportunities. And the result was, to be frank with you, very good. We've been able to diversify the portfolio, to build it internationally in a difficult time. We've been, maybe I will not, I think the most active, one of the most active, not the, the most active sovereign wealth fund. We run it in a pure financial way, very commercial way. We have justification and we have a view on each deal that we've been done. And that's mainly Qatar Holding and the QIA itself, because that is one management and just, a different face for the international activities. Of course, Qatar Investment Authority has also different other subsidiaries which over time, evolve, and also, they consolidate the strategy with the holding entity. We've been able to help to put the Volkswagen group together to merge Porsche and Volkswagen. Volkswagen and Porsche, and Porsche specifically was almost bankrupt at that time. We've been able also to save leading institution like Credit Suisse, which was also facing a big difficulty at the beginning of financial crisis. And we took at that time a bold move to invest a huge amount of money, and that's also applied to Barclays at a time that nobody has the will, to invest their money. So, as you know, many of you are professional investor or study, finance and accounting and law and management and engineering. It is difficult, when the risk in the market is very high. It's difficult to put or to find the right institution to take that risk. And of course, we are looking to make more money at that time when we thought about it. It was a big risk, and the formula is very simple: more risk, more return. So some of the people said, guys, they made a lot of money. We shouldn't allow them to make money, But if you back again by the clock at that day, just tell me who was in the market willing to put such a money at that time. So we started with this. Then we moved to Harrods, Iberdrola, Santander Brazil, Agriculture Bank of China, and many, many other assets that not comes to the public because maybe it's not listed entities. And we've been so active in deploying a lot of money from 10, 11, 12, 13 up to date. And the institution is revolving. The governance in QIA is revolving and emerging. The more we put money, the more we invest, the more new sector we open. In parallel with the growth of our portfolio, we support our team and we improve our process. We hire consultant to reassess year by year. I will tell you, frankly speaking, year by year I done internal assessment and we present it to the board because we are just quite new. 6 years of operation. So if you think about it, 6 years in the life of any organization, that's very short. And we hope QIA will continue will be one of the leading global institutions that have very advanced balanced portfolio, very advanced system. The talent is our wealth. This is our capital. And we really take care of our talent, whether national or international, We understand that we are investing everywhere and will continue investing our wealth and will continue accumulating assets for our future generation everywhere. And we think this is a win-win for everyone. It's a win for Qatar because we are trying to diversify the income of our economy, the source of our future money, and also create stability in a different way as a long-term investor in the country that we are investing in. Of course, we are not a hedge fund that squeeze the asset and invest to squeeze it in 2 years' time and then exit and let everything collapse. No, we really care about the company we are investing in. We will do, and we've done our best in every single asset that we invest to improve it, to work closely and friendly with management and other stakeholders, other shareholders, the government of the recipient country. We discuss openly what is right, what is wrong. Of course, there is a limitation, when we are involving, we don't like to run the asset by ourselves. That normally we are a small fund. We are around 300 people in Qatar. Will not run everything from Doha, but we rely on the right people and we put our money in the right hands. If things goes wrong in our company, we will discuss with their board, with their chief executive, with the management. We'll contribute our knowledge, our network, our experience, anything that we can contribute, we will do our best. We will even offer co-investment to grow the company further, to put more money behind them, to gain more market shares. And that's why, a lot of companies like to be with us, and we help them to be more international if they want, to gain more market share locally and internationally, and to compete with their competitors, because the story is very simple. If this company make more money, we will make more money, and that's the win-win. It's very simple. We don't need to run it. We just want to make sure when we put our money, we put it in a safe hand, and when we look after our money, that's create value for everyone. And that's because we are international organization by even human capital from all over the world. Our integrity and our professionalism is our capital here, and we'd like to contribute it and work closely regardless of the ownership. Yes, we respect and we are honored to have this noble responsibility in behalf of our nation, but also when we create this organization, we create it to make anyone who will work there, he will be proud to be part of it. And that's the whole story. And we are long here in France. We've been for a long time in France. I've been following the news and the media reports maybe on a daily basis. It is a different atmosphere, different experience to see the debate in the French media about a lot of details. Sometimes, when I read the details, I said, it's a culture here. And yesterday I was with the president and the government, leading government minister in the Élysée, and that's public, to attend the Competitiveness Council to enhance France's position among the other European countries or globally. And the society here like to debate everything, or sometimes criticize everything, and the more they criticize is themselves, which is maybe they would like to take it to the next level, and that I put it in the positive way. But it is also a cultural experience for us. We every day knows you better, and we hope by doing more investment here, you will be familiar and knows us better. And as you know, the relationship between Qatar here as a citizen, I'm talking here, it is a historical relationship. It's between the people, between the nation, between the French people and the Qatari people. Paris, it's a destination for us, and we respect the heritage here, the culture, the history. By the French Revolution, a lot of things has been changed in Europe and in the world. A lot of values comes from France, and we all respect that so much, and we learn it every day. Myself, you know, I'm personally very keen to read and to understand the values and the history of the French people and the France. And I've been really respect and admire this country. It's a great country. You have everything here. You have the best human capital, the best talents, the best technology, the best, you know, infrastructure, the best education. And you have a lot of things here. You have maybe everything in France. And it's also a tourism destination. And that gives you everything as a country, all the elements to build it and to make it, you know, even more advanced, to compete more advanced. And I'm confident you are already in leading position, and you can be better. And that's something belong to you, and I trust the system. And, you know, I wish all the best to you and to France. Thank you very much. Thank you. I don't know how you will manage any question or something. Who will... مرحبا خالد. أهلا وسهلا. شرفنا. What's the system? I should sit here, or you want to ask me?
As you want.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bonjour, merci Votre Excellence. Je vais être bref pour donc vous passer la parole à vous pour poser donc vos questions. شكرا جزيلا لك سيد أحمد السيد على هذه المحاضرة. سأتحدث بشكل موجز حتى أترك الفرصة للحضور لطرح الأسئلة. Donc, je vais commencer par deux petites questions. Après, je vous donne la parole à vous pour donc les questions à Monsieur Al-Sayed. First, my first question that will be, what's the next of Qatar Investment Authority? What are your ambition now?
Our ambition to make money.
Sure.
That's a simple story, but we are keeping investment. Today we announced in Hong Kong an acquisition of a company called Lifestyle, which is, you know, owning a leading department store in Hong Kong, and we become the owner of 19.9 or almost 20% of that. So that also comes from the East. But as I said, you know, the goal is to build a global financial institution, sustainable financial institution, leading organization from all aspects, from portfolio point of view, from organization and governance point of view, a system, and that's the ultimate goal, and make the right return for our future generation. That's, you know, our goal. And we continue invest. We are really cautious about the global outlook. We discuss and plan on a yearly and on a quarterly basis. We reassess the situation, the market development, and we try to take opportunity and advantage from any opportunity, and managing the risk also. So that's a simple way.
Yeah, to take opportunity. Here in France, how do you see France for investment purpose here?
As I said, you know, you have the right talent, the right human capital, the right entrepreneurial. You have a lot of things here. You might need to do more marketing, to be very frank with you. What you need here is more marketing. We invest this year. We become an owner of 25% of Vente Privée. You know, this is a leading e-commerce company, is one of the best in Europe, and Jacques Antoine is the founder, who was, you know, really ahead of anyone to create such a business in Europe. Also, we invest in SFL. That's a leading REIT and real estate developer. Of course, we have also different portfolio here through our subsidiaries. We own hotels, which create a job and business. The latest was the Peninsula. Is just, we invested a lot of money, and I hope that represent a good destination in Paris. We also created, and we moved to a next level, and that's very important. Why I mention Vente Privée. Historically, France is very attractive from an investment point of view, from the tourism sector point of view, because you are a destination, you have millions of visitors every year. So the tourism sector and the service sector related to this was so attractive from an investment point of view. And also you have best infrastructure and real estate sector. But I was looking for something else, and that's why Vente Privée comes as after different detailed search about what we could do more to move from the classical to the new initiative, and to be in technology, e-commerce, leading company like this. It was very important, and that's open a new sector for us. Also, we are partnering and creating a JV between us and CDC for the small and medium enterprises, and we already started a joint venture of 300 million euros investment, and we start executing. We've done, you know, a couple of deals already in a small company which has very good foundation and business plan, and, you know, excellent talent behind it, but they need the right financial support to grow, and that's what we are looking for. So if you have any, or you know any of the students here has any ideas, please, you know, we can provide you with this joint venture address, and they are based here and run jointly with CDC, and we will consider seriously. Of course, you have to convince the French partner first, because they know you better than us, and that's what I told them. Bring me the opportunity, and we will persuade it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. El Said.
Just a very few words, just to say that I will give the information to the startups which are in our incubator in this university. Thank you for that.
Thank you. If you have a question.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Excellency, I have two questions. The first one is, do you consider SMEs in France? You know that France has a huge potential, but they need investors from outside, especially from the Middle East. So first, do you consider investing in SMEs? And my second question is, do you consider investing in Africa, and what kind of investments in Africa, and what guarantees do you need to invest in these countries where you know it's booming, but it's very difficult to go there? Thank you very much.
Thank you. For the first one, yes, we are investing in SMEs. That's why we create this joint venture to be to work as a platform. So with CDC, you know, they are on the ground, and we put the money behind it, and we have small operating team from each parties, and we look for different opportunities. So I'm really interested here. Of course, the risk will be higher, but we'll be very selective, and we have the will and the decision to go for this sector. And as I said, you have, you know, one of the best talent and engineers and entrepreneurs in France. So that's a tick. In Africa, we are financial investors, so we are not an operating company. Just to explain how we operate, we are investing in public equity and in private equity. And for that reason, we select companies from time to time. We study them, we evaluate them, whether they are listed or they are public in a private deals. And we work toward, and we decide to invest or not invest. So Africa, wherever the market is really appropriate, we will consider it seriously. There is some different subsidiaries in Qatar, for example, like Qatar Petroleum International, who co-invest with Total in Africa and Congo and different places. So we go jointly with international companies to offer the money and the technology wherever the opportunity comes. Of course, we assist it. It is not easy, but there is a huge potential there. And the question that we ask ourselves, how to access every time. Of course, you know, the system in Europe or in America or in different countries in Asia, it's, you know, it's different from the system in Africa. It's developing, but I agree with you, the potential, it's a huge. And we go slowly, because the way that we run or operate our portfolio, it needs a very advanced or appropriate foundation or system or environment around us. But we have real decision to go for the right opportunity in Africa with the right partner. So whenever that two things become available and the recipient country welcoming our investment, we will consider it seriously. Thank you.
Merci. Est-ce qu'on a d'autres questions?
Yes. Your Excellency, thank you very much for your comments for France. I think it's very encouraging, and we have a lot to learn from Qatar also. A global question about the international investment, and as you are one of the major investors in the world, the equities has been shaken over the last week. The yield dropped both in US and in Europe, and there is some question about the growth in the world, and especially in emerging market, impacting the level of oil. I think all this question is, you are looking at that with your team. Do you have any view on that in terms of investment strategy, globally speaking?
Thank you very much. As I told you, we are 6 years old portfolio, and we are growing. And we started at the beginning of the financial crisis, so we've been in it as a QI, we're a saving fund. You know, you have three type of, mainly three type of sovereign wealth fund. Just also, it's good to mention this. You have pension fund, which you need to pay the salary of the employees, the people who serve the institution and built for many years, and they retire. The pension funds work to invest a portfolio to make sure, you know, we are paying them at the right amount at the right time. So the pension fund keep high liquidity and keep low risk strategy to be able to pay, you know, the people at the end of the month or end of the year or whatsoever. And you have also a stabilization fund, which, you know, contribute to the annual budget. So also you have to keep high liquidity and to take less risk and to invest your money in a treasury shares or bond or whatsoever in more secured way. And the third type, which we belong to, is the saving fund, which invests the wealth of the nation on the long term to create value. And we don't need to return the capital on a yearly basis to our investor. We care about the market condition, and we are cautious, and we look at it carefully on a daily basis. So I wake up or before I sleep or when I wake up and we have a full organization, everyone is specialized to do his work. But as a CEO also I'm running or looking at the performance and cares about the market movement on a daily basis, and we discuss in a different levels in the organization as a professional team the different market movements. So we have capital market, we have risk, we have portfolios. We really care about what's going on, and I agree with you, the market is in very interesting moment. Let me say it. It is, but that creates a lot of opportunity too. So if we could manage the risk and we have a deeper breath, it could create opportunity for us because we are a longer term. We don't need to sell the asset in 2-3 times like the hedge funds or private equity to pay back the money. No, we have a longer term, which is win-win for us and for the recipient country, so it will reduce the volatility in the portfolio. And that's how we look at the current market condition. However, we are really seriously looking around us, discussing with economists, strategists, portfolio managers, and our internal team, and we put the right strategy that suits us from time to time. Thank you.
Merci à vous. On a une question, Monsieur Rachid.
سأطرح السؤال باللغة العربية وبعدين بالفرنسي يعني. تحدثت عن المخاوف والنقاش في فرنسا حول الاستثمارات القطرية. يعني أنا في اعتقادي أن هذه المخاوف ليست فنية أو متعلقة بالقدرة المالية لدولة قطر أو بصندوق الاستثمار، وإنها هي في الأساس مخاوف سياسية مرتبطة بالأجندة السياسية لدولة قطر واعتبار أن الاستثمارات القطرية هي ذراع لهذه الأجندة السياسية الإقليمية، وتحديدا في فرنسا كل الشيء يتعلق بالحديث عن الإسلام السياسي ودعم قطر الإسلام السياسي. يعني ما رأيكم في مثل هذه الانتقادات؟ Ma question, moi je pense que les critiques en France par rapport à les investissements qataris ne sont pas techniques ni sur la capacité financière de Qatar, c'est des questions liées à la politique régionale et internationale de Qatar. Qatar est connu sur le niveau régional d'être un soutien de l'islam politique, et ici en France, c'est aujourd'hui un des pères, un des principaux ennemis ici en France.
Thank you very much. This is, really a good question, and let me be very frank here. We are purely commercial organization. As I explain the background or where and why our institution is being created, you cannot run a politics in behalf of a current government, because basically we are not running the money that belongs to the current generation. We are running money that belongs to the future generation. And also I would like to explain, we are founding members of the Sovereign Wealth Fund Forum, which comes as a result of San Diego principles, that the principles which govern the Sovereign Wealth Fund. I personally in 2007 participate in drafting these principles under the IMF. And that principle is putting the principles that govern the Sovereign Wealth Fund to make sure they are being run on commercial basis and away of any political influence. And at the end, Qatar is very small countries. So when you talk about, political Islam or, it doesn't fit even the nature of the country. We are very open, liberal economy and country. We have very advanced education and health. We are investing hundreds of billions for 2030 vision to build our country, and we have also investing a lot of money for the World Cup, which set a timeline. It's not a target itself, but that's put a good timeline for our people to really expedite the process on achieving the vision that we are all working very hard to achieve. And we have a 70% of our professionals are expats, you know. How I will run an organization or investment organization until 70% of my managers come and serve a political agenda? You know, my agenda is to make money. Anything contradict with this, it will not be in our organization. And all what we read it from the media doesn't reflect, because everyone knows we are very professional organization, and the financial partner who dealt with us in France or in Europe or in America or in Asia knows how we behave and how we interact when it comes to business opportunity. So that's really, you know, any ideas about fear from Qatar investment? We are not a superpower at the end. We are a small country looking to diversify our income for our future generation, to keep the sustainability and to diversify our economy. As simple as this. Thank you. I hope this clear things for you.
Merci, on prendra encore deux
The
ou trois autres questions.
ambassador is here. He can answer any political question, but he covered the political part. I covered the investment.
I'll be very glad to comment on that. Thank you very much for your question. I think it's a very important question. And I think all our investments here in France are very clear. I don't see any of our investments directed towards the debate that has been conducted in the past. Even the investments, and here's Mr. Said is the CEO, can assure you that we are silent partners on these big institutions. So there isn't really any influence that we can do over these companies. We are minimal shareholders. We do not sit on the board, so we cannot influence the policies of these companies. Thank you very much.
We might sit, but in a positive way.
Yes.
Your Excellency, one question on the European economy. Are you worried about the future of the European economy, and especially the lack of reforms in some countries? What's your feeling about this subject?
This is a very risky question. How can I answer you? You are from which newspaper? Huh?
It's the answer.
I think the question is to how to improve the current situation. Let me put it that way. You know, you are in a situation, you know, it's everyone admit that the global market facing some difficulties. We are a big investor in Europe, and we believe on the fundamentals here. As you know, you have, whether in France, whether in Germany, whether in UK, whether you have very advanced human capital, you have excellent technology, you have entrepreneurial, you have leading global companies, best names, you know, name it, from Glencore to Nestle to Roche to Unilever to Alstom to Schneider to Vinci, and you can name a lot of big leading name, and there is a lot of also smaller companies that's really leading in their position. So I think you have the fundamental, all what we need. As you know, the Eurozone is contain, you know, different also countries. Everyone has priorities, and within the European Union, they are working hard to agree on a clear way of dealing with the situation, which is, by the way, is very healthy debate. you know, and it's all about the priority and how the global market react to this. But I think governments and central banks here doing a lot of things, and they are more in the details on the fundamentals here, better than me to assess. But as an investor, we are monitoring the situation, and we are looking to utilize the current situation to also to take advantage and make a good investment or managing risk. So we are watching the situation in a positive way, to be very frank with you. But as I said, we are long in Europe, and we have a global portfolio. So Europe is part of our portfolio. We have a global. We are investor in United States and South America. We are in Asia and China and the other Asian emerging market countries and leading countries like Korea and Japan and Singapore and Hong Kong and other. So, you know, that's what I can comment, frankly speaking, from an investment point of view, and I continue carefully selecting the right opportunity here on a risk-return basis. Thank you.
We have a question, I think.
Good morning, Sabah al-Khair. Alisa Miko from the OECD. Welcome to Paris, first of all. Thank you for coming here to give this talk. One point that I thought might be interesting to ask is about your view on the role of Kuwait Investment Authority on Qatar Investment. I work with multiple countries.
Q
Qatar.
and K.
Yeah. I apologize. Qatar Investment Authority on investments in Qatar itself, because with the view of MSCI's upgrade of Qatar, I know Rashid al-Massoudi is working very hard on attracting investments in the Qatari market, and also with your role potentially on sort of improving the situation or further investing in state-owned companies, because in some neighboring countries, as you know, in Bahrain, for example, the SOE portfolio, the state-owned company portfolio, was transferred to Mumtalakat. Do you think there is a role in Qatar in that regard? Do you see any role in that sense? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Actually, you know, we inherited the local companies, and if there is any new ideas which will contribute, you know, well, or a good business plan, we will put money on it. But our main mandate is to invest our money outside Qatar. Okay, so we could create a subsidiaries, but the main objective of this subsidiaries will not be just to invest in Qatar, will be invest outside Qatar. Of course, we are, you know, a biggest shareholder in a different institution or companies in Qatar, which we are inherited from the government, but also QIA comes now as a holding company, and we are working, to be frank with you, on shifting the model from being administrator, you know, because this company was even, you know, older than QIA, some of them listed, some of them not listed, and they have their own management, their own board, and we are working with them on a bigger, you know, project to consolidate the efforts together and to put right system until we reach, you know, the model to shift it from administrator to be an active investor, but without running the day-to-day. You know, we just want to make sure the system, the risk management system, the governance system, the investment process, all these things is being set up, and that's good for the country, good for the people, good for the employee, good for us as a shareholder, and we let them run themselves, you know, with the right supervision from their board and from us as a shareholder. And that's what we are working on right now in participation of international consulting firm. Thank you.
On prendra encore 2 ou 3 autres questions. On a encore 10 à 15 minutes, je crois.
Bonjour, Ghislaine Ketani. I'm a economics researcher at Dauphine University. I have 2 or 3 questions, since I'm working on wealth sovereign funds. The first is about Europe. How do you arbitrage, for example, between Germany and France? Is it because of political links or better investment opportunities or openness of, for example, German or French firms to sovereign funds? And my second question is, do you plan in the future to become an active investor or to invest in private equity? And or you said an interesting question to take Qatarian firms and to globalize them with the capital infusion and to put subsidiaries in the Middle East and Arab world or on bigger scale in the United States. Why not, if the technology is right, for example? And my third question is about macroeconomics. Do you think that big wealth fund like China, Norwegian wealth fund will can bring disequilibrium or equilibrium to market prices or to macroeconomic imbalances to the world economy, and can we count the wealth sovereign fund as 21st member of the G20, for example? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let me just answer the macroeconomy. When we do any investment, we also consider the macroeconomy in any jurisdiction. That's simple. But it's also, you know, differ from fund to fund. What is your risk appetite? You know, so every portfolio has a different situation. You know, my portfolio is not like the structure of the portfolio, not like the Norwegian or, you know, the Chinese or, you know. So we invest as a pure investment managers. We have a situation, the portfolio, and then we calculate our risk, you know, if we can observe it and, you know, it's within our risk criteria and risk appetite, you know, that will tick the box, you know. And it depends how you believe. If you are a long-term or a short-term in the investment, then you will decide and you will assess the macro situation and you will build your, you know, investment either on the fundamentals, on the return, you know, a different contribution. The asset maybe you need, as a portfolio, needs to grow on this asset or on this jurisdiction or on this currency. And that all depends how your portfolios or our portfolio structure or from a fund to fund. The second question, to invest actively, we are investing actively. We are not a passive, you know, investor. I don't believe on passiveness at all. That doesn't mean I am activist, no. We are not activists, but we are active long-term shareholders. So if I can contribute an idea or knowledge, why not? I will give it to the management, I will give it to the board. I'm not a hostile, yes, we are not a hostile. But if I have idea, I have a network, I have friends, I have good idea or network that could help the company, I will offer it to the CEO and to the board and the management. And if I believe on it, we will support and will try to sit with them and convince them there's a good idea. Either they convince us we are wrong, and that could happen, or we convince them we have a good proposition here, and we should all consider it, because if this has a good and positive impact, it's win-win for everyone, for the employee, for the management, for the shareholder, for the recipient country. So, you know, I want to distinguish between very passive, and some people told me, just give us the money and go home and relax and play golf. You know, why I'm getting salary then? I will give you the money and, you know, I will play golf, you know. So we don't accept, and, you know, I don't believe myself on being so passive and just give the money to a third party and we go home or play golf at 2 p.m. You know, I work 24 hours, so I don't play golf at 2 p.m. So that's just to give you, because in the university here, a lot of theories, I'm just trying to put it in practice and make it practical. The third, how we select. As I told you, I'm a global fund. Bring me the nice idea, whether in France, Germany, and United States, I will consider it. Our government is very neutral, and we think we are a friend of everyone, and that's a good sign. And we are pure commercial, so to be frank with you, two things that we try to get ourselves away of: politics and religion. When I consider things, these two things can create complications that we, in our activities, we try to get ourselves away of it and focus on our objective is to make money, to develop our portfolio, to sustain it, to protect it for the future generations. Yes, we have, in our policy, we don't invest, for example, in gambling or, alcohol or, other things like any world-class organization. We have a clear policy, but it depends where the ideas come from. When I told you, I believe on the fundamental here in France, I will receive 10 opportunities from Germany, France, United States, and China. And then as a portfolio constructions, we will debate which one will make more sustainable, higher return. And with our professional team, we'll try to push what is doable, what is not doable. Of course, we consider the macro situation. Of course, for any opportunities, the individual company, the macro situations, and then we decide. And that's, as any investment proposal, we consider all this and the risk associated with this company. Thank you very much.
Merci à vous, Monsieur Al-Sayed. On prendra une toute dernière question parce que on doit quitter dans 5 petites minutes. Donc voilà, ça va être la dernière.
Just a specific question. Investment from Qatar could come from different vehicles. You have Qatar investment authorities, you have Qatar IDR, you have National Social Fund, also the Qatar Foundation. As you are all of you investing the revenue from oil, how the decision from government are taken in terms of the fund allocation?
As you know, QIA has many subsidiaries. When we create this subsidiaries, we decide the capital allocated to this subsidiaries. And as a general assembly of the company, of course, has management, has board of directors who run it and put the strategy, and as a shareholder participate to align the strategy in general and to assess, the activities of this vehicle from time to time. So we decide the capital when we create how many we are putting, 100 million, 200, 350 million. It depends on the business plan and on the activities of the vehicle. If this company is making a lot of money for me or it's promising on the long term to create a good business, we will allocate and we will assess it the way that we invest, and we will invest more. But if it's wholly owned, also, we try to create a national champion and support it, because also that have a good impact in general. If you think about companies like Qatar Airways, also it is a leading airlines now. Hassad Food in the agriculture. We have many subsidiaries. We build and we support and we assess the business plan from time to time. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur Al-Sayed. Merci à vous toutes et à tous d'être présents donc pour cette conférence. Voilà, donc on arrive à la fin du débat. Je suis sûr que ça va continuer en dehors de cette salle. Merci beaucoup à vous toutes et à tous. Merci.